Well, after many long years, Hazbin Hotel has finally arrived. When the pilot first came out, it was universally praised by animation fans online, and its success was viewed as a massive victory for independent animation. And for a while, it seemed like everything was going right, with a full series being greenlit for Hazbin Hotel, along with a spin-off show called helluvaboss being posted on YouTube, which has also received a highly positive reception. Although in the weeks leading up to the official release of Hazbin Hotel, a bunch of different online dramas related to it started coming, one after the other. Firstly, people have been revisiting the original pilot, and started claiming that it was nowhere near as good as people remember it. Also, helluvaboss started to become more and more divisive, with each new episode since season 2 started, resulting in YouTube getting flooded with endless video essays about how fundamentally flawed the show is. Plus, creator vivziepop started to receive backlash for various different reasons, from allegedly underpaying her staff, Alistair's character design, a scene getting leaked and deemed problematic. Oh, and just about a week ago, there was a lot of buzz on the internet about a YouTuber who, no joke, spent $50,000 on making a porn A&B involving him and Charlie, the main character of Hazbin Hotel, which was subject to mockery all over the internet. Like, you just can't make this stuff up. It seems like an insane amount of bad luck that all of this is happening right as the show was about to be released. But now that it's out, how did the actual show turn out? Well, based on the first 2 episodes, it could have been better. But before we get into the review itself, I'd like to ask you guys to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell for notifications. Also give this video a like and comment. It's easy, it's free, and it can really help out my channel. Anyway, back to Hazbin Hotel. First, let's talk about episode 1, Overture, which starts off with a storybook opening. This is reminding me of something, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Meh, never mind. As for this intro itself, it has some major glaring issues, despite having some really nice visuals, as it basically dumps a bunch of info about the backstory of heaven, hell, angels, demons, as well as Charlie's parents, Willip, and of course, Lucifer himself. Normally, the history of the world that the show takes place in would get gradually revealed throughout the series. Also, this introduction reveals what I believe was supposed to be a major plot twist, that being the real reason that angels go down to hell to exterminate sinners is because they're afraid that they might rise up against them, and not because hell is overpopulated, which was the widely believed reason.
Isn't there a more humane way to hinder overpopulation here in hell?
What doesn't make any sense is that Charlie doesn't seem to know this, despite literally mentioning it when she was narrating the backstory, as in a later scene in the episode where she is pitching her idea for the Hazbin Hotel to the angels. She mentions that hell's overpopulation is the reason for the yearly exterminations.
Our shared problem of overpopulation in hell. I know hell's population is out of control. Threatened by this, heaven made a truly heartless decision that every year they would send down an army, an extermination, to ensure hell and its sinners could never rise against them.
But if she already knows the angels' true intentions, why would she say that? And furthermore, wouldn't she also know that they won't even entertain the idea of a sinner ascending to heaven? Also, just imagine how much more impact this reveal would have if it came later in the series. Regardless, this was a massive misstep in the writing. It seems that the show only receiving 8 episodes for its first season was detrimental to the story it was trying to tell, as there are so many plots and ideas within it that most of them get crammed in at once in a short time frame. As for the rest of the episode, it appears to be a direct continuation of the pilot, so I'd recommend watching that before seeing this series. The A plot follows Charlie, who was requested by her father to take his place in a meeting with the angels, and she uses this as an opportunity to pitch her idea of the Hazbin Hotel to them, only for them to immediately reject it before dropping the bombshell that they're going to do the next extermination in 6 months instead of a year, which creates a major sense of urgency, as it now gives Charlie far less time to try and redeem sinners. The big issue with this plot is that Adam, who despite being intentionally made to be unlikable, ends up being a lame antagonist. Nothing about Adam as a character works. You'd think for this show's interpretation of the first ever man, and someone who is being set up as a prominent antagonist antagonists throughout the series, there'd be a bit more creativity put into his characterization. But nope, he's just a surface level, misogynistic dude bro, who won't shut up about his sausage.
And it's like, do you know who I am? I'm Adam. I'm the original. Call me Master.
Seriously, it seems that all those memes about a blank show was written by vivziepop, it be nothing but swear words, wasn't an exaggeration after all. Also, I find both his design and characterization to be lazy and confusing, as he looks and talks exactly like the demons. So the angels are the villains here. Okay, fine, but having them act overtly evil doesn't make any sense, as it brings up the question of how they're in heaven in the first place. What makes this issue stick out even more is that there is an episode of Hazbin Hotel's spin-off show, Helluvaboss, called Cherub, which has a far smarter showcase of heaven and angels being corrupt by having the cherubs look like stereotypical, pure and angelic beings, only for the corruption to subtly seep out by the end of the episode, suggesting that although the angels act virtuous, it's only a cover for their own flaws. And Cherub isn't even a good episode, so it's not a good look for Hazbin Hotel. A better way to portray the angels' flawed ideology would be for them to view anything that doesn't fall into their line of thinking as satanic, even if it's not actually evil, similar to Christian extremists who unironically think that enjoying D&D and Harry Potter makes you a sinner. Unfortunately, it seems that the creative team behind this show seem to only be interested in going for low-hanging fruit by simply making the angels act like simplistic antagonists. The whole hell versus heaven conflict would have much more weight to it if the demons and angels were far more distinguished from each other, particularly with how they're both evil in different ways. Anyway, moving on. So the B plot involves Vaggie trying to make a commercial to promote the hotel, which is used to give some comedic moments to the secondary characters, as well as to showcase Vaggie's dedication to Charlie's cause, which is sweet. The next episode is Radio Kill the Video Star, which introduces some of the show's major antagonists, Box, Valentino, and Velvet, along with setting up Box's rivalry with Alistair. Although these characters have an interesting first impression, their introduction eats up too much time. The issue with this episode is that too many characters get introduced at once, which leaves less time for the primary cast to get properly fleshed out. Anyway, the Bees, as they're referred to as, hire Sir Pentious, the main antagonist from the pilot, to pretend that he wants to check into the Hazbin Hotel in order to spy on the main cast, but he gets found out, and Fox fires him. However, Charlie decides to give him a second chance, and this time, he seems to actually want to redeem himself. If I'm gonna be honest, this turnaround for Sir Pentious comes across as rushed and contrived. Overall, this episode, like the first, has its issues, as Sir Pentious being added to the primary cast, along with the introduction of the Bees, comes across as the show having too many characters right off the bat. Although one strong highlight of the episode is that we start to see some build-up towards Angeldust's character development. Anyway, with the first two episodes reviewed, it's time to go over the other aspects of Hazbin Hotel. So far, the comedy in this show really sucks. It unfortunately falls into the trap of relying too much on lowbrow humor that consists of swears and sexual jokes that many adult cartoons fall into. While having swears is not an automatic death sentence for a piece of media, it does however become an issue when it is used excessively and as a substitute for actual jokes with substance. I barely laughed once so far in this show, and yet random clips of that Ted prequel series on social media managed to get a chuckle out of me despite having a similar style of lowbrow humor. Although the main difference with that show's comedy is that the jokes have a far better execution and the line delivery is top notch. The animation of Hazbin Hotel is pretty hit or miss. While there are plenty of instances of glorious visuals, there are some random dips in quality, and at times, the character movements come across as stiff. The songs are a definite highlight of the show, as I find all of them to be great so far. The instrumentals are top notch, and the vocals are phenomenal, thanks to the cast consisting of Broadway singers. Aside from being amazing singers, the voice performances the cast gives for their characters are absolutely perfect. As for the characters themselves, while their personalities at face value show plenty of potential, like I mentioned before, the cast feels too bloated to give each character enough time time to shine. And those were my thoughts on Hazbin Hotel, based on the first 2 episodes. And I still stand by my opinion that it is a mixed bag. There are many elements that I love, and it does have potential. However, at the moment, the show is held back by massive flaws. Could it improve in the following episodes? Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. And that was my review of the first 2 episodes of Hazbin Hotel. If you enjoyed this video, then be sure to give it a like, share, and comment. Also, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell for notifications. And if you are interested in supporting my channel, then head over to my Patreon. Well, I've got nothing else to say, so see ya!